What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and with Journey Together 2 months away from hitting the shelves here in the US, I thought this would be a really cool time for us to go ahead and do our set review. We usually do it here on the channel, but we are usually one of the last ones to do it because I like to wait as long as I can to try and understand what all the cards are going to look like and get some idea of what the hype is for this set. And as you can see, Journey Together, every and anything you can imagine for Journey Together is already sold out. I mean, I have seen things come back in stock and then sell out almost instantaneously. So the hype around this set is very, very real. However, if you saw my most recent State of the Hobby video, you've seen that the hype around almost everything, all Pokemon right now is crazy. XY era, Sun and Moon era, Sword and Shield era, Scarlet and Violet era, like the top 20 singles cards from all of those eras have been going up steadily over the last couple months. There is a high degree of Pokemon craziness going on right now, which is fantastic. I love it. Now, I don't love that there's not enough product to go around, but obviously the Pokemon company has come out with a statement saying they're going to address it, but no matter which way you shake it, the fever right now for Pokemon is very real, and it is at an all-time high. So when I think about a set like this, and when I think about the overall market, how everybody's feverish over Pokemon cards and everything here is sold out, I think it's really important to take a step back and actually do a deep dive into the individual cards, right? Is the hype just because the market as a whole is on fire, or is the hype because the set is great? I will be honest with you. As we get into this video, I'm going to show you some cards that I think are absolutely stunning. So I think the hype is absolutely real. I think the hype is well deserved, but I do still believe that a little bit of that hype is simply being fueled because the market as a whole is absolutely insane right now. So we're going to look at how Journey Together's pre-orders are going right now compared to some other sets. As I said, we're going to look at some individual cards. We're going to do some comparisons, not only to Scarlet and Violet, also into the Sun and Moon era. So lots of fun stuff to unpack in this video, and I'm excited to have you along for the ride. And if you get into it, if you're having fun, if you find value in it, hit that subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. I got a small channel here. Those two things go a long way in helping me out, and I really appreciate it. So before we get into the individual cards, I thought it'd be really cool to take a look at Journey Together pre-order prices right now and compare them to Surging Sparks and as best we can to Prismatic Evolutions. Like, to be honest with you, the Prismatic Evolutions is a long reach because they don't have booster boxes. The best thing I could compare it to is the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box, and we all know that those things come out incredibly hot. You can see in that price graph up there, there were actually almost 250 of those that were purchased at the close to $400 price point, which is absolutely wild to think about. Now, obviously after it came out, it dropped back down, but the price is still $260. Compare that to an MSRP of $60, and that is just, I mean, that's a 4x growth immediately as soon as the product hit the shelves. So, I mean, that is just wild in and of itself. But the best comparison that I thought and really helped kind of ground me in how hyped Journey Together is when you look at Surging Sparks, okay? So I have the TCG player graph down there, and that orange line represents 2 months prior to the official launch of Surging Sparks. And if you can see the price point at 2 months prior to launch for Surging Sparks, wildly popular set. We all knew it was going to be great. You got Latios, you got Latias, right? You got Pikachu, you have all kinds of great cards in that set. Even knowing all of that, 2 months prior to launch, booster boxes were selling for $127. And then on the day of launch, they were selling for $161, which is pretty darn close to MSRP on the nose, right? So I thought that was a really interesting takeaway, because if you look at Journey Together booster boxes, where they're going right now and in terms of pre-sale pricing, it's over MSRP already. They're going for $189 right now. And you can, if you're very, very lucky, you can sometimes find them restocked and you can go ahead and buy them at MSRP, but it is hard to make that happen. Most of the times when they come back in stock, they sell out instantly. So if you were trying to pre-order them in any other place besides some of these, you know, unicorn situations where you can find them at MSRP, the going rate is $189, which is over $60 more than Surging Sparks was per booster box at this point in its life cycle. That just gives us some idea of how hyped this set is, and really just kind of how feverish the overall market is right now for Pokemon as a whole and Pokemon sealed product. Now, of course, we're going to talk about some singles cards, and if you're going to talk singles cards and Journey Together, you got to talk about the Lily's Clefairy right here, and this card is, in my mind, the big chase card of the set. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the colors. I love the artwork. And Lily is absolutely no stranger to being a big chase card, right? We all know the Lily Full Art Trainer card in the bottom left. That was one of the big chase cards from the Sun and Moon era, outside of the Lovebirds cards, right? That was one of the bigger ones. And It's all the way up at like $475 right now. It spent a lot of time up near that $500 mark. Earlier in the year, we watched it work its way back down. Then we saw it flatten out a little bit, and we knew, hey, listen, a lot of times that's the pattern that we see before it spikes off. And it did. It eventually shot back up. It's been working its way back down, but it looks to be settling in the 475 range, right? And then you've got two different cards from Cosmic Eclipse, okay? So you got Lily's Full Force right there, which that pattern is really interesting to me. Look, it's been coming down all year long. Started off at $180. Now it's down to about $125, starting to flatten off again. That's the pattern we see sometimes when a card is getting ready to take off. I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't, but it's a really interesting pattern. But then when you look at the one above it, the card that has been gaining steadily over the course of the year and over the last month, again, with the hype around Journey Together, we've seen the biggest spike in, that's the Lily card where you got Lunalala on there and stuff. And so I think that's a really cool call out, because that's the card where you combine the trainer and the Pokemon, which is what we're going to see in Journey Together. And that's where we're seeing the biggest price growth. So thought this was a really cool comparison, and I think those Cosmic Eclipse cards are really cool ones to keep an eye on. This artwork is stunning. I am absolutely pumped to get this card. I hope it's not a $500-600 card out of the gate, because I'd really love to have it in the collection. I know my two little girls would love to have an opportunity as well, but I don't know if I could spend $500-600 on this card right out of the gate, but we shall see. Who knows? Now, the next one we're going to talk about right here is Zoroark. And one of the things that we know is that male trainers don't traditionally have a good growth pattern to them. The ladies get all the love, and rightfully so, but N is kind of different. N is one of the bigger male Pokemon trainers out there, and as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, that's one of his older cards, right, from Noble Victories there, and you can see that that card has been performing relatively well. It's all the way up there. I think it's a $70-80 card now. And then the one to the right, that's an alt art promo card. It actually came from an XY era trainer box, which is amazing. That trainer's box is fantastic. It's got like 8 different trainer alt arts in there. Just a stunning box. I really wanted that early on in my collecting phase. I couldn't get it. I think it's up to $700-800 now. But again, the big call out is if you look at the one from Cosmic Eclipse, right, where you got N and the Pokemon on there, you got Reshiram, you got Zekrom, right? Look at how that price has performed over the last couple months. These are the patterns that we can start to identify. We all know that people love Eevee and Eeveelutions, right? However, leading up to the launch of Prismatic Evolutions, what did we see? We saw everything, Umbreon, Sylveon, whatever you name it. Eevee and Eeveelution cards saw this just incredible spike in price leading up to Prismatic Evolution. So now, as we're getting near Journey Together, we're starting to see similar cards from other eras go through the exact same thing that we saw from Prismatic Evolutions and the Eeveelution line. So really interesting to see, really awesome call out. Another card, I think the artwork is really, really stunning here. And if anything has the ability to withstand the curse of being the male trainer Pokemon, right? I think N has the ability to do it. So a really cool card right here. And then, of course, we've got to talk about the illustration rares, and there's a ton of really cool illustration rares. I mean, there's some that I don't even have pictured here that I think are absolutely fantastic in terms of artwork, but these are 5 that I personally wanted to call out, right? You got the Articuno card up there, which is obviously a Gen 1 Pokemon tied with some awesome art. Usually that is a recipe for strong success. Even if you don't see this card pop off in the very beginning, in the early stages, this is the type of card that we see do really well in the long run. And then, of course, you got Wailord over there, another early Gen 3 Pokemon. Obviously, a lot of love for this Pokemon comes from the Team Up set, right, where you have a tag team with Magikarp. That art is super special. I don't think this card's going to do anywhere near that, but I do think the artwork is really cool, and I wanted to call it out. Then, of course, down below, you got Iono, right? Iono is a wildly popular trainer again, and you have some awesome artwork down there. You got a Kilowattrel. It's just really cool. And then Lily, one of the most popular trainers out there with the Rabombi, right? And that artwork is absolutely stunning as well. So even when we get beyond those special illustration rares, the 2 cards that might be the headliners, when we start getting into these illustration rares, the artwork, the combination of the Pokemon and the trainers, like this set has the opportunity to do something really, really special. I think this set has a whole lot of upside. But then, taking it one step further, we have other really cool artwork, right? You've got the Noibat right here, and this artwork mimics what we saw from the Ceruledge, from Surging Sparks. And you can see that's the price graph of what happened. It came out, it went down a little bit, and then it is spiked up. Now, it's kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but still, the price of this card is above where it originally came out. We don't traditionally see that, right? We usually see the Pokemon pop and flop, especially with cards that are outside say the top 3, top 5 card comes out, the price is at a certain point as more packs are ripped, right? That demand is met with more supply hitting the hobby, and then we see prices come down, which we saw originally, but because the artwork is awesome, because Surging Sparks is getting a whole lot of love, this card spiked up in price. So I had to call this out. I love the artwork, and this could be a sleeper good card. Is it going to be a $100, $200, $300 card, something you can set aside and put your kids away through college, sometime in the future? Absolutely not. But is the artwork awesome, and could it have some upside to it? Abso-freaking-lutely. So I absolutely love this card. The next one we're talking about right here, here's another one that I think is really, really sneaky, this Volcanion right here. So this isn't going to be the biggest name Pokemon, but when you think about the artwork, right? Plus it's a special illustration rare. It does remind me a little bit of that Milotic, okay? This could be one of the bigger special illustration rare cards out there, especially one that doesn't feature a trainer on it, right? Then you got the Hydreigon right there too. Another one where you see some strong prices. We're 3 months in, it's already up there at $80. So this is another one that I really like. And when you think about it in its totality, I mean, we've already talked about what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 cards. And there are probably 10 other cards that we could have easily had on this list. And when you think about Journey Together, you think about the artwork, you think about the fury that's going on right now in the hobby, I think this set has all kinds of upside. Now, is it worth $189 pre-sale booster boxes, especially knowing that Pokemon Company has come out with an announcement? They have said definitively, we are going to reprint Prismatic Evolutions, but they also, in that same letter, they said other impacted products as well. They could be in the process of reprinting Prismatic Evolutions, but I guarantee you, seeing the way that Journey Together is selling out, they're probably working in the back of their mind a plan to make sure that there's plenty of this product to get out to everybody. So for me, I was able to get very lucky. I have some booster boxes at MSRP. I got 2 Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. So I'm just going to kind of chill with that. I'm going to let this come out, kind of let this little reprint phase work itself out and see what happens. So that's everything from Journey Together, but I did want to include 2 more cards that just got announced on the other side of the ocean, and these cards are absolutely fire. Now, this is a little excerpt, from Poke Beach, and these 2 cards are from some special decks that came out. Obviously, they're over in Japan, but it says down below, we expect the cards from these decks to be included in our English set after Journey Together, which should release in May. And I'm telling you right now, that Marnie's Morpeko right there, that you know how I said I wouldn't spend $500 for that Lily's Clefairy? I will probably end up finding a way, begging, borrowing, and stealing to buy this, because my wife will be in love with this card and she deserves it if she wants it. So I think, again, we continue to see the owner's Pokemon that will be featured more and more throughout the end of Scarlet and Violet. I think both of these are incredible artworks, and since it was just announced, I could not end this video without talking about them as well. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Journey Together. Is it totally overhyped, or is it going to meet all of our expectations and then some? I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a ton of fun, and I can't wait to do more content for you. So if you had a good time, hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Have an epic one, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.